have a jam-packed day of making whipped soaps and sugar scrubs, and I stopped off at BJ's this morning to grab some more sugar. That's the best place I find to get granulated sugar. It's in the big 25-pound bags, and the price keeps going up, but it's still the most affordable. So I got 100 pounds of sugar this morning, and I am ready to restock my shelves, which look just about the same as when I left you guys because I haven't made product. We got a ton of snow yesterday. I was supposed to come in yesterday, but I am not the best driver in the snow. So I stayed home and got a bunch of admin work done. There are some questions I've seen come through on how I make my whipped soaps. I don't really do an in-depth tutorial because I don't make it from scratch. I could make it from scratch. I have the knowledge to make it from scratch, but if you sort of get a good look at my studio space, I don't have the square footage to get the proper equipment to make the amount of whipped soap that I need to for the full year. So I do order a base, and it's been okay. It's been great for the last, well, ever since I started like 4 years ago, but I don't love all the ingredients in it, so I have actually reformulated my new whipped soap for the manufacturer, and it's got a better preservative and just things that I really stand behind. So I will show you how I make my whipped soap, but I do use a base like most people because it's intense. It's very much like making a lotion or a body butter. It's an emulsion, so you need to have really big pots, and I just don't have the space for that in my little 400 square foot studio. But I also will show you guys a little bit more in depth on the filling machine that I have. I've seen a couple questions come through as to how I clean it. I will tell you right now, it is a pain in the butt because you have to take the whole thing apart, literally everything apart, wash it really thoroughly, and then make sure it's sanitized properly, because if you think about it, the entire soap is going through the entire funnel all the way down through. So it's something I pay a lot of attention to, but it does slow me down, unfortunately. However, I do think it's important, and it gives me peace of mind to know I have properly cleaned and sanitized it, but I will try and give you guys a better look at how I do that in case you're wondering for yourself. And yeah, like always, I try and share new stuff with you guys, but we'll go about the day, and if things pop into my mind, I'll share them with you too. But I just hope you're excited to spend another day with me in the studio. Let's go. Okay, I just sprayed everything down with 70% isopropyl alcohol. I use 70, and I have done a ton of research also with my course. You want to use 70% because anything higher doesn't have enough water in it, so it actually evaporates too quickly and doesn't kill the germs off. So what I do is I literally douse everything. I have a little spray bottle you saw in the alcohol, and I let it sit and dry, which gives me the comfort of knowing everything is sterilized. Everything's been cleaned already, but basically that's how I sterilize everything, and I've, knock on wood, never had any problems. So I use 70% isopropyl alcohol, spray everything down, and let it sit, which means it takes a little while. It's pretty dry in here. It's only 28% humidity, so it should dry fairly quickly. But to make sure I'm not rushing the process, I have a couple things to do. So I'm gonna ship the few orders I have. I have a few emails to respond to. By the time I finish that, we should be good to go. Okay, I'm going to attempt at showing you guys. I've sprayed it down with alcohol, and I wanted to show you a few things I've learned. So sometimes this little nut right here, or screw, or whatever it's called, does come undone if you're using this quite a bit. So I always try to tighten this because it has popped off with product in here, and it's an absolute disaster. So that's my tip number one. But I spray everything. I pick this up and spray it in there. You have to be really careful. There are some nooks and crannies in here that could have water, things like that. If you see that it's wet, my gloves are wet, it's actually the alcohol still. And then the product goes through here in this little section, and then into this part, and then there's a hole down here that it comes out here. So this is like bacteria central. If you have been making soap for a while, you know it's very difficult to sterilize things like this. The more bends and turns, and even this, so this is also sterilized right now. and clean. And this goes on here, so I will put it on there because all of this is dry for the most part. But you need to make sure that the entire section here, so that's why I say I take the whole thing apart. Everything needs to be sprayed with alcohol. Even in here, it has been sprayed with alcohol, and I like douse it and let it drip through. So that is that part. So then this goes on top through here. So this also has been sprayed in here, and I will do one final spray of it when I get it together. But as you can see, there's a lot of places for the water, and water from the faucet while you clean this, even if it's hot, is great, but it has bacteria in it, so you have to sterilize it with the isopropyl alcohol. So I'm gonna tighten this up, and I get it really, really tight, and then I will put it on the floor and do one final spray in here with alcohol, let it air dry, wipe it just to be sure, and then we're good to go. This is the soap all whipped up. As you can see, this is the consistency of it. Mine is not super airy. I don't like to put a ton of air in it because then it will deflate in the package. You have to be really careful with how much you whip the base, because if you over whip it and you put too much air in there and you fill your package, if it sits even for a week, it will deflate and your customers will be very upset. So you have to do your trial and error when you're using any kind of whip soap, because you don't want to have that happen. So mine is definitely thicker than I've seen other people's on the market, but I like it that way and my customers love it that way too. Anyway, we've cleaned our hopper, and then we're just gonna take this and put it into here and then keep going over and over and over again.
Appalachian sunrise meets my skin. Even with my eyes still closed, I can feel it coming in. Golden, golden, I'll follow only golden, 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 golden things. Mountain laurel high fives for miles in spring. Rainbow trout and a hummingbird wing. Golden, I'll follow only golden. Golden.
So these just arrived and I'm so just in love. I absolutely love any and all flowers, and it is a nice little happy birthday from my husband. It pays to have friends in the flower industry, let me tell you, because how beautiful are these? I almost bought myself flowers this weekend. I think maybe it's the new Miley Cyrus song that's getting me all, you know, to buy myself flowers, but I am just really grateful to have moments like that in life. But anyway, I am in the middle of batches. I'm doing my lavender scent, and I figured I would stop, make a coffee because it's just what I need today, and explain a little bit more of what I've been doing. So I have basically just been making my lavender whipped soap. I do have 2 sizes, but making that the same way. And then with the filling machine, I actually don't clean it in between lavender sugar scrubs. So that might be like obvious to some of you, but just in case you're brand new, I think that it's super helpful to share this stuff. So because the sugar scrub is just the whipped soap with the sugar, I never do that first. I don't want to have sugar in the hopper and everything if I'm making a whipped soap, because it's just not consistent. So my strategy is to make the lavender range, so whipped soaps and sugar scrub. I start with the whipped soaps, make what I need there, and then the sugar scrubs, I don't clean the mixer, I don't clean the hopper, because it's the same essential oil. I don't have any color changes either. That could also be a reason that you might want to clean everything. But because the cleaning process is so intense, I try to be as efficient as possible. And so I'm making lavender whipped soaps are done. I just made the sugar scrub in the mixer, and then I'm just gonna pour it into the hopper. No cleaning necessary. And that way it does save me some time. That's about it. I had to order some more fragrance oils. I was trying to be super stingy But as you guys can see, I only have my big 25-pound ones left here. These are all like flavor oils for lip balms, and then the ones in the back are ones for custom soaps that I did for another retailer. So I'm moving right along, but it is definitely slower than normal. It's taken me forever to get into the groove, and I'm telling you, it's winter. I just feel like after the holidays I come crashing down. So I'm not beating myself up about it, but I certainly am running on more coffee than normal. And of course I didn't pack a lunch today, so I just had a banana for lunch, which fine, delicious. But anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling and switch over to the sugar scrubs and see what we can get done.
Gold anything, golden.
Also, in the last video, I tested some cold processed soaps. You guys can see this is obviously a vanilla scent. And it is the one I'm gonna move forward with, but obviously you can see how that is in cold process. It smells amazing, it looks gross. So I'm gonna have to TBD on that. And then this was the one that seized up that wasn't good. These are the two fragrances that are the same. And then this was the other scent, and it is lighter than I would like. So I'm gonna have to talk to the fragrance house because they do have the ability to make it stronger. The only problem with making it stronger sometimes is the IFRA percentages that you're allowed to use. So IFRA is basically the International Fragrance Association that tells you what percentage of, like, because of the ingredients in a fragrance, what usage rate you can do. So the fragrance company is gonna send me all of that to see if I can up the fragrance amount in my cold processed soap and still be in the correct standards. If not, they can reformulate the fragrance to be a little bit stronger in cold processed soap for me. I completely forgot to tell you that I do one thing, well, two things to make sure this works for sugar scrubs. When you buy this, it's going to tell you it doesn't work for things that have particles in them, so granulated sugar, beads, things like that. It's gonna tell you this isn't good for it, and that's because in here there is a spring. However, I have found you don't need to have it in there, and so if you're gonna make sugar scrubs with this, you can do it. Just make sure to take out the spring and the plastic thing that comes in here, and then I always take off here the little thing because this is so small, it's not going to get, the sugar's immediately gonna get stuck in here. So if you take this off, which I did from the whipped soaps, and the piece that's out of here, it's gonna work for a sugar scrub. Now the only downfall of doing that, just so that you guys know, because it's a pain in the butt, is, you'll see here, you can't see it, but let me show you. Right here, it will drip a little because it doesn't have the piece in here to sort of help, but even when the piece is in there, I find it drips. So this is just the nature of these machines. They're not that well made. This is the only thing I can use right now. The next step up for something is in the thousands of dollars. So again, back to my whole manufacturing thing, this is not the most efficient way to do this, but it's kind of the only thing on the market. So I've learned how to work with it. So if you're in the market for this, it's great. I have it linked down below for you guys. It's in my Amazon storefront, and I have gone through 3. I will tell you they're not, again, not perfect, so I don't want you to think it's like the best thing. It's kind of just the only option, and there's a million options. I'm pretty sure they're all made from the same place. I think they get sold on Alibaba, and then other vendors sell them to us. So eBay, I've bought them, Amazon, they're all the same, but just so you know, and I'm just being fully transparent, there are definitely negatives to it, but it is so much more affordable at a couple $100s. I think it's less than $200 for each one versus spending thousands on a true machine that you then need more space for.
Walk up the river by my son. Feet step over splinters of the moon.
So I just washed everything, and then I'm gonna take all this apart and just let it air dry here overnight. I'm doing the same thing tomorrow, but if I were to make another batch and go to a different fragrance now, I would completely towel dry these down so they didn't have any water on them, and then sanitize them again, let them sit, the whole thing I explained to you guys earlier. So as you can see, it is a tedious task, but it is so much more important to have a clean environment and clean work tools and machinery if you're doing any kind of soap or bath and body products, especially with water. And all of my whipped soaps and sugar scrubs have water, which is a breeding ground for bacteria. So you wanna make sure you're getting rid of any possibility of bacteria at all. So, but because I'm not using these again today, I'm just gonna let them air dry, and then I'll sanitize tomorrow when I come in right before I make the batch. There's no sense in doing it now. So anyway, I think I have a little bit of time because I'm in between these like batches. I don't have enough time to make another batch, but it's only 3 o'clock. I do have to run and give Lucy her afternoon walk, but I'm thinking, I haven't gone into my friend's store in a while, and it's all set up for Valentine's Day, and it's super pink and cute, and I want to shop around, maybe get a candle for myself. My birthday is tomorrow. We're going out to dinner tonight with my in-laws. So I probably won't film there, but we'll see, I'm not sure. But I'm kind of feeling in the like treat yourself birthday mood. So I might just pop over there and see what she's got, and I'll take you guys along with me.
Golden thing, golden. I follow only golden, 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 golden things, golden.
Got myself a little treat. I got such a sucker for Sugar Fina. I never get any candy or anything, but I love the Sugar Fina, so it's a nice little treat. And these are the strawberry hearts, and they're so good. They're like adult gushers, really. And then I got a candle, which is funny because I make candles, although I pretty much sold out of them. But I got a Brooklyn Candle Company. I've never tried them before, and it's beautiful. I got the Tuileries scent, which is a very floral scent. That's my jam. And I was thinking about this. I heard someone once say, I don't know, in a podcast or something, I love shopping other people's soap. Even though I make soap, I love to buy other people's soap. It's like going out to dinner. I thought that was such a good analogy. So I still like to buy candles and soap products. Obviously, I shop at Sephora and Ulta, and I just think it's an interesting thing. Sometimes I would beat myself up and say, like, oh, Caitlin, you make lip balms. You shouldn't buy anybody else's lip balm. Nope, I still like to try other people's stuff, and I think it's good. I think it's really good to know what else is out there on the market and what other customers are buying and seeing. So yeah, anyway, I have my little treats, but we're gonna pack up the car and head to the post office and bring our packages, and then I need to freshen up. I'm not really in like a going out to dinner mood. I'm in the mood, I don't look like I fit the mood, so we're gonna go home and do a little zhuzhing, I think. We are back from our walk, and I think I told you guys tomorrow's my birthday, and I love my birthday, but I don't tell people it's my birthday because I just don't want that kind of attention. But I got a card that I have to share with you because if you're a soap maker or you love like self-care, this card is absolutely for you. And I love that it's designed in Boston, where I'm from, spa-like. And this is from my Aunt Cindy, my husband's aunt. So she's so sweet to send this to me, and she loves my products even more, which is great. So then you open it. It is a little octopus in a bathtub, and she has a little teapot, a little teacup. I mean, I would probably have wine in mine if I was really going hard for this, but how adorable. And so it's just, and then the little message is on a card, a pull-out card right here. This is the information. It's lovepop.com. I'm gonna freshen up a little bit, and we have a little bit of time before dinner. Our reservation's not till 6 o'clock. Okay, this is my look. You guys know that it's like super cold and snowy out, but I have had this kimono for a long time, and I've wanted to wear it, and no better time than a special occasion. I get asked a couple times, not a lot. I get asked from some of you guys about like my floral tops and stuff. They're from a brand called Spell, and it's an Australian brand. This is one of their vintage pieces. I say vintage, like circa 2014 maybe. I am going to end here because we are about to go to the restaurant, but I hope you guys had fun spending the day with me. I am going to basically repeat what I did today for the next 4 days and crank out more product. And if I have anything new and exciting, I might vlog one of those days and batch it all together so you guys can keep hanging out with me. But if you got this far in the video, thank you so much for sticking around. I hope you had fun. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.